Hello, welcome in. Let's do a year 8 update for the Origins Legacy Challenge. And I want to start out with some general updates. For example, first of all, I've made some changes to the way my gameplay in general works. I think one of the coolest things about this challenge is the amount of creative freedom and seeing other people play and talking to other people about how they're figuring things out as they go too and customizing and adjusting things. I have definitely been doing that as well and taking some inspiration from some of those suggestions. For example, one suggestion was changing the dice rolls because there are some dice rolls that they're not doing much for me personally and the way I'm playing. So I changed the Invention Craze, which gives someone a free reward trait to help them in their career. I never know what to do with that. So the Invention Craze is out and a pet adoption is in. When we roll that number now, somebody will adopt a pet instead. Another change that I talked a little bit about last episode is that I've decided NPCs do exist now if they interact directly with our characters. And like someone mentioned, we can always just say that they're from another town. And along that line, I think I'm also going to say that the other towns do exist and the lots that are there are there. Like for example, we sent Amelia to university. So obviously the university in Brightchester exists, right? We'll say that they're there, just the towns around them kind of still need to be built up, you know? And then one last thing I wanted to mention, I've been telling everyone that my Neighborhood Stories is on. I really genuinely thought it was on because all of the options were checked and stuff, but I just realized overarching Neighborhood Stories in general was not enabled. So I have not had Neighborhood Stories on. I considered turning it on to add a little chaos, but I feel like it might be too much chaos. I've heard some of the horror stories and the suggestion from Rosanna TXT, it said turning this on could make your game unstable. And this whole time I've been like, what do you mean? My game's not unstable at all. Yeah, that's why. It's because Neighborhood Stories were not on. I don't know. Let me know your opinion on Neighborhood Stories. If you have it on or off, is it ruining your life or is it making it more fun? I would love to know. Maybe for year 9, we'll try it out. Anyways, on to some more specific town updates. What's going on in Willow Creek? Amelia had enough money saved up that she could upgrade her house. She's no longer living in this little one-room shack. She is now. It's really cute. I really like it. I went for this cute color scheme. She's got some breathing room now. It's a proper kind of Victorian home to match the neighborhood. I think it's really cute. I also put Amelia in the teacher career track. I think that that's perfect for her. School was so important to her growing up and has opened so many doors for her, and I think that she would want to repay the favor for other children who need a good teacher in their life. I also moved Graham out of his parents' house. He's an adult now. He has his own vet clinic. You know, he needs some independence. So I moved him into the lot next door to Amelia so he can be closer to his girlfriend and also closer to his vet clinic to go to work. His house is still a little bit under construction because I think that he would be building a very large, very, good. He's quite wealthy. So we have high hopes for this big fancy Victorian house he's building, but it is a work in progress. I also finally built and updated Kaylee's restaurant cafe. I think we were saying it was a cafe originally. I made it more of a restaurant. I think it's a very fun, she has some fancy food, some fusion I think is going on here. Gabriel also hangs out there a lot at the bar thinking about Kaylee. It's very cute. We also finally made some upgrades to the park, specifically first of all, the event center, if I do say so myself, has come out quite nicely. We've got a buffet, a bar, a dance floor, a DJ station, and then I also finished up the sculpture garden, which I think also turned out so nice. I'm so proud of this. It took me forever. But it looks so good. I really tried to put some kind of sculpture in all of the nooks and crannies as you're roaming around the hedges and the botanical garden, And of course, Landon still has his wonderful fishing pond in the back to share his love of fishing with the community. And then we also have, a little chess table. I put a little woohoo bush back here. And finally, the last lot that I built that I am so excited about. I think this is such a great addition to the town. The lovely taxpayers of Willow Creek have collectively funded almost 65,000 simoleons to create a very cool new thing. A community housing complex. We built an apartment complex for the town, and I want to be clear, this is not a landlord thing. First of all, because I have heard that the for rent pack is busting people's games, and I'm not risking that. But also because these apartments are for the people. We have a lot of teens becoming young adults now, and not all of them come from families and backgrounds where they can afford to just go buy a new plot of land and build themselves a house. We're not all Graham Oaks. Of course, they'll have to chip in towards bills and stuff when they live there, but besides that, it's free to live here. There's no rent. It's nothing fancy, but it is completely furnished. They have technically everything they need to survive. A kitchen, a bed, everything like that. And of course they can bring their own stuff in if they want to and like make it their own while they're living there. But the point is, it's a place where the town's youth can go to get a good start on their own independent lives, no matter their economic background. And I hope it'll be a fun place to live, even though the apartments are small. They've got a really nice community space in the middle where they can hang out together and grill and play games. They even have a hot tub and a movie projector and a basketball hoop. So yeah, and then the last set of updates that I just want to run through really quick is birthdays. First of all, happy birthday, Haley, Aubrey's adopted daughter. She is now an animal enthusiast. She is romantically reserved, which I think makes a lot of sense after watching her mom's relationship with Nina. She's also very cute. I gave her a babysitter job. Next up, happy birthday, Stephanie and Evelyn, our Murakami twins. Stephanie wants to be a serial romantic. Her goal is to play the field and meet lots of interesting people. I love her. She's so outgoing and her style is so colorful and artsy and she's just so cool. I had her join the critic career. I think that she has the background to do either food or art. Another thing I want to say, there's an adult acne problem in my game. I don't know, I've tried all of the suggestions I could find online, but no luck. I don't know. I think sadly, this might just be a generation of people who are stuck with acne forever. Maybe there was something in the water supply while they were teens. And that's okay. A little adult acne never hurt anyone. Everyone is still beautiful and wonderful people. I think honestly, some of them are kind of rocking it, actually. Anyways, Evelyn, our other twin, our emo queen, became a vegetarian and she now also wants to become a chef, just like her mom. I think that's so cute, and like maybe we'll have her work at the restaurant and like be hoping to take over the restaurant when her mom retires. This is perfect, a family business, you know? All right, next birthday, Quinn, our alien baby, is now an alien teen, and honestly, she is so cute. Her goal in life is mischief, an icon. I love her. Next up, we have Devin Sears. Happy birthday. He is now a non-committal, I get that vibe. He's also a gloomy animal enthusiast, and his dream is the beach life. I don't know what this kid is gonna do with his life. We got the river beach. That's really all we got to offer, bro. I don't know. I made him a lifeguard and I hope that's fulfilling for him. And then finally, our last birthday is Jordan Sykes, the Sykes baby. I know we don't spend a lot of time with them, but their kids are cute. Like, look at Yosef and Mateo. These kids are cute. So that is all the general updates out of the way. Let's get on to what happened in year 8. Week 1, our dice roll was an 18, which is a dispute between families. So by the end of the week, at least 2 Sims must have a falling out and become enemies. Obviously there are a few options for this, but I wanted to play out the week and kind of see how it went. I didn't get a screenshot, but right when I loaded into the Willoughbys, the twins were like having a hug and Mitchell and Krista were having a kiss behind, like, this family. We're 8 years in and I am still just shocked and like sent over the moon every time I load into this family and see how happy and wholesome they are. They can get a little bit uneventful because of that, but Krista has a midlife crisis going on. So I thought that we could do some stuff from her midlife crisis bucket list. You know, at least she's got something going on now. You know? She wanted to view the tragic clown painting, which I thought was a good excuse to add it to our town art gallery and take a little family outing. I think Krista and Mitchell were less than impressed with the clown. I also didn't know that like viewing the painting would summon the clown, but here he is to be tragic with Ryland, who is still probably grieving the death of Jeanette. So Krista then decided in her midlife crisis to do some paintings on our handy dandy community easel. I knew this would come in handy. They also have an easel at home, and I have to say her paintings are masterpieces. Faith Hawthorne, watch out for your job. As far as Astrid, she's still doing the witch thing. She used her spells to fix the toilet. So I think, you know, the witch thing is really coming in handy. She also wants to flirt with Carrie. Okay, like, and this could actually stir up some family drama with his sister though, you know, because they hate each other. So I had Carrie and Astrid flirt at the park during the Founders Day celebration, and sure enough, as soon as they flirted, Astrid then got this wish to become enemies with Evelyn. And I was like, this is perfect for our weekly dice roll. So then Theodore wanted to invite Carrie over. And I was like, oh my God, this is getting juicy. Like, Carrie's coming over to our house now. I'm gonna have Astrid flirt with him the whole time he's here, you know, let's go. But unfortunately, the flirting didn't go well. He was like not into it all of a sudden. And I figured that was a good excuse for Astrid to call Evelyn and be like, what the hell? Did you turn your brother against me? Did you tell your brother bad things about me, or that he shouldn't be talking to me? Or like, are you in our business or what, you know? Astrid actually went over to their house to argue with her about this, but unfortunately, right as they were about to have this fight, Christopher set the kitchen on fire. But it was a good opportunity because Astrid is like afraid of fire, and she's always had this wish to extinguish a fire to get over her fear. So she got to do that and be the badass hero, putting out the fire and saving Christopher's life. Unfortunately, it didn't let her put out the rest of the fire, and the fire department took forever to show up. So basically the entire kitchen burned. This is really sad for the Murakamis because Kaylee, you know, she just spent all her money for the restaurant. They never have that much money to begin with. You know, she's a single mom, small bit, like this is tragic. But then I remembered that Astrid is magic. She could repair it for them with her magic. Sadly, her magic backfired and she just reset the kitchen on fire again. So it really didn't go well, unfortunately. And I was determined to have her come back the next day and fix it for them. But while she was there, Evelyn was having a very fancy bubble bath. She was in there like meditating in the bubble bath, like, God help me, save me from this girl in my damn house again. As Astrid and Carrie are upstairs flirting with each other in her room, in her bed, even, like diabolical, absolutely diabolical. But then they went downstairs and Astrid and Evelyn actually had a very polite, civil conversation. I was shocked and I was like, okay, I'll give this a fair chance. Like maybe the fire put things in perspective for everyone. Maybe they're taking this opportunity to put their differences aside, which means that somebody else has to become enemies this week. And well, the obvious choice here, we have suspected that Kaylee and Gabriel are seeing each other from Cupid's corner. You know, we've caught him in and around her home in the middle of the night several times now. And we've also suspected that Georgia has been keeping tabs on him and probably knows about it. So I just figured, let's make this canon. Officially, I sent Kaylee over to the mansion to hook up with Gabriel officially, which was really funny because Nina would not leave them alone. I even had them like move the operation to a different room, and Nina decided this was exactly when she needed a glass of water from that exact sink. Out of the entire mansion, she's got to be in this room, even during the deed itself. Truly, Nina, what are you doing? So then Georgia came over to Kaylee's house, and over a friendly game of Jenga, she politely explained to Kaylee that they are now enemies because you're hooking up with my ex-husband. And shortly after that, Kaylee got a pop-up saying that she now has a competitive spirit. So that's that, I guess. And a positive note to end the week on, Krista and Mitchell had a date at the park and they were so cute playing on the slides. On to week 2, this is our bounce week. Our dice roll was an 8, which is the new pet adoption roll. So excited to get this roll, and I really thought that Amelia might like a pet. She adopted this little kitty. His name is Tiger. He is so cute, and I hope he knows how lucky he is to have Amelia as a mom. He's going to be so spoiled, and also probably get free vet care for life from Graham. You know, Tiger is the true rags to riches story here. Anyways, for the bounce week, I headed over to Aubrey and Haley's. I figured it's about time to build Aubrey's yoga studio so she can start having her classes inside instead of out in the yard or in the park or whatever. Of course, we'll be making it more Victorian and giving it a bit more personality as we go, but at least she now has the studio in the front here, a nicer living room, a nicer kitchen, and of course, some bedroom renos. I think Haley's room is so cute. This is such fun teenage girl vibes and I love it. Sadly, Aubrey's first meditation session was canceled because no one showed up. But that's not true. Actually, someone did show up. Nina. I don't know why Aubrey is still like entertaining this toxic breakup. Like she's clearly not happy about Nina's presence. And then Nina joined the yoga session and I was like, okay, at least maybe she's being supportive of Aubrey's small business. But then she was like, JK, your class sucks and I'm not paying. by, oh my god, what is with her? And why does Aubrey keep like entertaining it? I don't know. Mason and Ryland did come for a massage, which was fun. And then Mitchell came and took a bubble bath, which is actually appalling behavior because he and Aubrey are like not on friendly terms. They don't like each other, you know? What is this? Anyways, then Graham called Aubrey and said that he found a ring in Amelia's bag and he thinks Amelia is going to propose. Has she finally made up her mind to commit to Graham and she thinks that marriage is like the only way to solidify that? Why is this couple so hot and cold? Why can't they ever just progress things normally? More on that later. But back to the bounce week. I moved on to spend a few days with Mason and Jocelyn Whitmore. Jocelyn is trying to kiss her classmates, so that's a phase. Also, this weird gnome showed up. I've never seen this gnome before. I think he's kind of cool. And as usual, I love Mason and Jocelyn's relationship. He met her outside when she got home from school, and then she was asking him for advice, and then he hung out in her room with her while she did arts and crafts. He also self-published some romance books and was even nominated for an award. So things are going well for them. On to week 3, which we'll spend with the Hawthorns. The dice roll was a 6, which is a festival of prosperity. So everyone's in a good mood and we get to cheat our relationship with one sim all the way up. So we're really getting new enemies and new friendships this year. You know, the dice rolls are providing. But first of all, let's have a round of applause for Faith. She has become the first founder to achieve her lifetime aspiration. She was doing the painting one and she achieved all of her dreams. I'm so proud of her. So for her new dream, I gave her the big happy family aspiration. I think that would be her focus now. And Landon is of course also still trying for the super parent aspiration and he's doing a great job and making a lot of progress too. Devin invited Henry over to the townhouses and while we were there, I saw a few things that need addressing. First of all, Stevie aged up. She is a gloomy, evil plant lover and she wants to become a vampire. I put her in the Undertaker career. Honestly, she's becoming quite the vibe, I have to say. But second of all, and more importantly, who is that sitting next to her? That's Edwin Rosewood, Jeanette's weird adopted son. Apparently still weird now as a teenager. He's a mean bookworm. And of course, he rolled the fabulously wealthy aspiration, and not to mention these outfits, like, anyways, while I was there, I also used this week's dice roll to make Henry and Ryland really good friends. You know, she's been mentoring him in the apothecary stuff for a while now, so I think they would have like a really good teacher-student kind of bond. Henry is doing well in the apothecary. He made a cure for Quinn's simoleon fever and he gave it to her. I have to say, Quinn is the cutest sim in this town, and her and Henry are so fun as siblings. Like, look at these two divas. Also, I love the kids cooking Harvest Fest breakfast together. Like, I'm so glad that everything worked out for this family so far, knock on wood. You know, they had a little rough patch when Landon brought home an alien baby from another woman, but they got through it, and now they're stronger than ever, I think. Quinn started a fire, and I love how she's just like, I don't care. I don't have the time to deal with that right now. And lastly, I got this cute photo of Faith and Annalise hanging out in the painting studio and it was too adorable not to share. Okay, and finally on to week 4. We are with the Oaks. Our dice roll was a bountiful harvest. We're not farmers, so we don't really care about that. I thought about changing that dice roll, but anyways, first of all, while I was distributing the salaries this week, over at the mansion, Nina was grilling and the table was set romantically. Like, I really hope that this isn't for Aubrey, and I hope Aubrey's not coming over for a romantic dinner. Also, I saw that we had some birthdays around the town. So Astrid and Theodore are twinnies, are all grown up. I let Astrid keep her spellcraft aspiration. I really think it suits her and she's doing so well as a witch. But I did re-roll her mean trait that she had as a teenager. I think she would grow out of that, you know? So she's now, actually she's a good idealist vegetarian witch. Cute. And I put her in the writing career because that one time she said she likes stories. And I couldn't think of anything else we have currently open that would suit her. She could be an author though, like I could see that for her. And then Theodore is a non-committal paranoid geek, which I think makes sense, and paranoia does run in the family. He comes by all of this honestly, I think. And I also let him keep the nerd brain aspiration, and it says that he wants to be both book smart and handy, which I think also makes sense. Like, this is such an eclectic family, and I put him into the education career because I could really picture him being like a computer science teacher who also teaches like a bunch of random silly electives. Like, he's the shop teacher as well, you know? Like, I see that vibe for him. And I also did move both of them into the new apartment complex. I think the Willoughbys would love to stay living together as a family, but like the tiny home, the twins in bunk beds into their adulthood, it's just not the vibe. You know, the twins need space to spread their wings, even though it's breaking my heart to split up this beautiful, wonderful family. Anyways, our next birthday is Carrie Murakami. Our shady teenage party animal is growing up, and I also think that he would have grown out of some of his teenage ways. His teen aspiration was to be like a villainous Valentine, heartbreaker, but honestly, he did not cause as much chaos with that as I thought he would. He flirted with a few different people, but like, he was never fully committed, you know? So I didn't really know, like, what would he be like after he grows up a little bit? I had no idea. So I actually just randomized him completely. And do I regret doing that? Yeah, a little bit, because he did roll the werewolf aspiration. I hate the werewolves in this game so much. This is my worst nightmare. But I'm also not gonna lie, it kind of suits him. And he also rolled non-committal, which I think makes sense. Lone wolf, hello, and mystical. Maybe because he's been having like a little romance with witchy Astrid. You know, he's getting into the mystical, supernatural stuff. You know, it all kind of makes sense. And I put him into the musician entertainer career because, you know, he's always whipping out his guitar for no reason. Now he has a reason. Now whipping out his guitar is his job. And I also moved him into the apartment complex. His sisters, Evelyn and Stephanie, the twins, stayed living with their mom. You know, it's such a big house, why not? But I think Carrie would be excited to go to the like young party apartments and hang out with the other cool young people, you know? Next up on the birthday list is Jocelyn. Her birthday is today, so I had Mason make her a birthday cake to celebrate. She aged up with high self-esteem, so way to go for Mason's parenting of a young girl. We love to see that. She's a hot-headed insider who wants to do extreme snow sports, so okay, she's a cool girl. Anyways, that's all the birthday updates, and now we're spending the week with the Oaks. I checked in on Georgia, and she is outside Ryan's house this time at 6 a.m. looking paranoid. I feel like Georgia needs a hobby or a job or something to like get her mind off of her former lovers, because it's getting a bit much now, you know? I'm like, that's it, Georgia, you are learning the piano whether you like it or not. And then I also made her get a job. She's now a food critic. You know, as the ex-wife of a chef, she feels like she is qualified to critique chefs, or maybe that chef in particular, or maybe the restaurant that his new girlfriend runs. You know, I think it's kind of petty, but I think sharing her great taste and opinions with her community is something that she would enjoy doing. I also just noticed that Jeffrey, who is already grown up to be a little bit of like a rich kid vibe, I just noticed that he has the rancher trait while also wanting to be a mansion baron. And maybe it's because I just finished reading the book yesteryear. I don't know. Jeffrey, are you about to go be like a trad family influencer on a ranch while also being like the CEO of a major corporation? He had this wish to encourage horses to breed. Like, you don't even have horses yet. You don't even have a ranch. You live in the suburbs. Like, who's breeding? Who's breeding right now? I don't know. I don't like it. I also think he's kind of a mama's boy. Like, him and Georgia are attached at the hip. He even follows her into the bathroom, but they also have like a complicated relationship. He says he feels hurt by her, and they also got into a fight this week. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here, preferably by a professional, I think. Anyways, I went to check on Grace, and one thing about Grace is that she loves to be in her swimsuit. Every time I see this girl, it's swimsuit time, and I love that because at least someone is enjoying the pool on this property. Anyways, even though she's still working as a barista at Kaylee's Cafe, I guess it's a restaurant now, maybe they also serve coffee in the morning, I don't know. She's also still having her work on her crystal jewelry. She's foraging, she's even making crystal seeds to plant in the yard to grow her own crystals. business. I think that's what it does. We'll see. And yeah, I think that this kind of small business would be something that she's also really into. Over at Ryland's Apothecary, I am in the process of setting up like a little store retail area where like Ryland is gonna sell her potions and cures and stuff. But I thought it would also be cute if, like, for example, Grace can sell some of her jewelry there, or like Cheyenne can sell her nectar there, and it would be a cute little like hippie witchy shop in the town. And speaking of Cheyenne's nectar business, I spent a day with Cheyenne at the community garden market thing making and selling nectar. Her dad came to buy a bottle and she wasn't very happy about it. I think she was like, okay, Dad, leave some for the real customers, you know? But it's cute that he's supportive, and Grace was also there to support her too, which I thought was really nice. Anyways, I wanted to spend also a few days with Graham and see how he's doing, and I loaded into Flash passing away. Graham is devastated, of course, and the day before Winterfest too, like, this is so sad. Amelia also came over and cried about Flash, which I thought was really sweet, and thankfully he was spending Winterfest with Amelia, so she was able to kind of cheer him up a little bit. And he got to hang out with Tiger, who is super cute. By the way, I can't get over this little kitten. They made dinner together, and they even got this like wholesome romance dynamic thing, which I think is really cute. Good for them. But of course, what would anything in this game be without a fire? Thankfully, Graham put it out before the fire department even arrived. Like, he was really on top of it. And right after that, Amelia asked him if he wanted to live together. Which, again, can you two chill for like one day? And I'm also like, God damn it, I just built Amelia's house. Like, I haven't even gotten to enjoy Amelia's house yet. I'm not ready, so I'm not letting them do it. I don't intervene a lot in this game, but kicking me out of a cute house I spent hours decorating, this is where I draw the line. So I said no, it's fine, just chill. Enjoy your cute house for at least one more year. Anyways, then they built a snowman together, and Graham almost froze to death, but the snowman was really cute, so that was worth it. He also had this cute dog at the vet, so lots of cuteness going on. And to finish out the year, we need to acknowledge one last birthday, Yosef and Mateo. They aged up so fun. Like, they are definitely twin vibes. I don't even know who's who. And they're giving like Euro Club vibes. I don't know. Like, this is so fun. Yosef is an adventurous animal enthusiast who wants to be a nature nomad, but he also aged up with this like Deborah from accounting outfit. I was like, okay, it's the glasses or the hoops. You know, you need to pick one. Pick what, you can't have both. And Mateo was the one who had glasses as a kid anyway, so I'm leaving Yosef with the hoops. Anyways, here's Mateo. He's a loner horse lover athlete. His outfits were kind of giving cowboy. He even had horse feet in some of them. I went with that vibe. I still feel like I lose track of who's who because I never spend time with this family, but maybe now that they're teenagers, they'll get up to some more interesting stuff for us to kind of connect with. And then to close out the year, I did stop by the apartment complex to see how things are going over there. Carrie and Astrid, Christmas party? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I find myself shipping these two more and more every day. They also had like a really nice grill party, a little barbecue. There was a fire, of course, but Astrid repaired it and the food was still good. Krista came to say hi and see how her kids are doing, which was really sweet. And then they had New Year's Eve. They were in the hot tub doing the New Year's countdown, and I was so excited for somebody to kiss at midnight, but they didn't. But they did have a little New Year's hug, which I think was also really sweet. And then Theodore was abducted by aliens, and he came back rubbing his belly. Is he hungry, or is he pregnant with an alien baby? We will have to wait until next year to find out. That's that for year 8. Hope to see you in year 9, and I hope that your games are going well also. And yeah, I would love to hear from you and how you're doing in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!